Conservation as a civic virtue. America's youth face a problem rarely discussed in practical terms. They don't have a clear role in their communities. They're surrounded by causes, commentary, and crisis, but offered very few opportunities to be needed or helpful. And without real responsibility, that is, work that resonates beyond them, agency erodes, belonging thins, and life moves away from being about contribution. Conservation offers a way back to what matters by connecting people to place through work others depend on. Stewardship forms civic virtue the old way, through service rather than rhetoric. Civic virtue never formed through slogans or online activism. It formed through responsibility, through showing up, and by doing work others rely on. Picking up trash along a river used by local families, clearing brush from a trail maintained by volunteers, restoring wildlife habitat, supporting hunters, anglers, and landowners alike. Conservation begins there. This work teaches habits essential to citizenship, such as cooperation, discipline, and accountability. Anyone who spends a Saturday repairing a fence line or clearing invasive species learns something no YouTube video or classroom can teach. Responsibility feels different when outcomes are visible, satisfying, and local. The politicization of the environment often obscures this truth. The modern environmental movement emphasizes awareness campaigns, performative protests, and abstract global goals over local action. Everything about it is distant and hands-off. Responsibility shifts upward toward institutions and away from individuals and their communities. And in the process, civic formation disappears. When conservation becomes an identity instead of a duty, participation declines. People wait for permission instead of acting. True civic virtue requires confidence and local effort. It requires trust in citizens to care for land they know and depend on. Conservation works best when people see improvement through their own labor. Ownership follows effort. Pride follows ownership. Texas taught me this lesson early. Growing up around landowners, hunters, and ranch families, I never encountered conservation as an abstract concept. It showed up as maintenance, fence repairs, water access, and habitat management. Real conservation was and is tied directly to stewardship and livelihood. The land responded to care, and neglect showed quickly. Responsibility wasn't optional. That mindset, carried by hunters, ranchers, and farmers, built durable conservation outcomes long before environmental activism entered the conversation. It remains effective today because it connects efforts back to actual results. This form of tangible local conservation strengthens societies from the ground up. Discipline develops when work requires consistency. Gratitude forms when individuals recognize the labor invested by those who came before. Stewardship teaches limits without promoting scarcity. It encourages optimism grounded in effort rather than pessimism fed by ideology. The truth is, conservation practiced locally reminds citizens their country exists beyond politics. It lives in forests, rivers, parks, and working lands maintained through cooperation. America needs this approach as civic trust remains low and community participation continues to decline. Many young Americans feel detached from anything lasting, but conservation offers a path back into civic life through service. It requires effort over performance, builds pride through responsibility, and honors inheritance and obligation. America's conservation success never depended on fear or abstraction. It depends on citizens willing to care for land, wildlife, and community with steady hands, clear priorities, and rugged individualism. Young Americans searching for direction won't find it in the rot of social media comment sections. They'll find it through indispensable work others actually depend on and benefit from. Stewardship offers purpose through responsibility, and conservation remains one of the few spaces where civic virtue still forms this naturally. The land still needs caretakers. Communities still need citizens willing to serve. Purpose follows when people accept the duty to maintain what they inherit. If you enjoyed this piece, follow the Bully Pulpit on Substack and ACC National on all other social media platforms. Join us in the arena building the conservative environmental movement.